Hello traders, it's October 4, 2022, 4:52 in the afternoon. Market is closed now and I'm here to do a market recap. So for today, the game plan is just do a very small position. It's day 3 of COVID, so fortunately COVID is real and still recovering from COVID. And for that, I only traded very small shares today, and with that I was able to get 1100. I only traded 3 ticker symbols. They were Ford, JetBlue, and Mara. So to begin with, let's look at what the SPY had been doing. So the SPY had been on this sell-off for quite a while, and for today it's not really I'm not convinced that we are heading to a bull run here, just because there's not a lot of catalysts for us to really bounce back. And if you can see here, the volume, pardon my voice, it's still a COVID voice, but if you can still see here, this one we still have that massive sell-off with that volume of 153 million, and that was on the 30th of September, which is last Friday. So yesterday we did find a bounce from that low, which was 356, and then we were able to bounce to 368. But look at the volume right here. So there's not a lot of volume for us to be able to predict for sure that we are heading to a bull run, because again, the volume is depleting here, and this might as well be just those short sellers that are covering. So with that anomaly of not so much volume, even here with that pop, not so much volume, it can still be those short sellers that are covering their position. The last time we were on this price, 357, was, let's go back right here. It's actually been a while that we were on that price. So 357 was back here, and that was around 2020. So 357 here. So around 11/27 or November 27, 2020, we did see that bounce there, but we are still on low of or below all the moving averages as well as the VWAP. We did manage to bounce off of that 9 EMA, but then again, with that small position, it can pretty much be just short sellers covering their positions. So if you can look into this, look at how the SPY, let me just get my pen here. So if you look at right here, look at how this trend had been. So we're heading lower, short sellers covering a little bit of pop right there. Now together with the SPY, all the rest of the stocks have been looking the same way. You can see here Ford, which is one of the ones that I traded, heading lower, and then a pop right there. JetBlue, the same thing. We can see those that is heading lower and then a pop, and then as well as Mara, a little bit of higher here compared to previous stocks, but heading lower and then a pop right there. So this 3 that I traded was mirroring what the SPY had been doing. So having that into consideration, I was looking at the SPY closely while I'm doing the trade. So for JetBlue, a pop right there, a good volume today, 15 million, and then for Ford, 87 million, but the float here is 3.9 billion. So That's a regular volume for Ford. And then for Mara, 22 million, which is pretty much the average here for its average volume. But we across the board we did see that pop, that other stocks have been showing together with the SPY. So what I did today was, let me share my recording. Okay, so what I did today was I traded JetBlue first. So what I saw with JetBlue was it is had that gap from that daily, so very bullish. It had opened 5.8 or more than 3% in my gap first list. So with that, I am very much bullish on this. Seeing SPY, I've been into this bounce, and that can influence JetBlue. So what I did here was a VWAP play. I entered regular the VWAP, added here, and then moving my stop loss just below this body of this candlestick right here, kind of like trailing my stop, so I don't turn this one into a losing trade. I was stop out right here already, just because I was having a very tight stop loss. But with that 6,000 shares trailing my stop and looking at the tape as well as the level 2, the tape right here is very bullish, all green, but it is taking some time for this to move on the direction that I wanted. But as you can see here in the level 2, there is a lot of buildup here at the ask side, and that ask side having that lines of sellers in the ask is very bullish, just because they're waiting for their shares to get filled, knowing that this stock is heading that direction. So very bullish. So just to save some time, I will be fast forwarding this one. And if you can see here, it's moving in my direction, so trailing my stop there. Now my stop is at 7.01 and it's still heading higher right now. JetBlue has, let's see here, so I have unrealized of 280 and with a realized of 133, just a very small shares of 6,000. And what I like about here is still that buildup of a lot of volume in the ask side. Again, that's very bullish. That little bit of a pullback, that is a normal pullback right there, because you just don't expect the stock to head all the way up. Of course, there would be some volatility and some pullback as well. Those are healthy pullback, but 704, so it's still heading higher there. So just to save time, so this trade right here took some time for it to do what I was waiting it to do, but we head there eventually. So 705, still stocking a lot of volume in the ask side. Now the unrealized is 220, 280 right here. This one is getting absorbed right there. 707, get a pop right there. Now the next destination is 708, and that's why I keep pointing as well my mouse there. The next destination here is 709, but Goldman Sachs even has this 716, so very bullish. Okay, so now the unrealized is at 400, still heading higher, so no need for this to for me to partial. What I've been doing is trailing my stop. Again, I'm moving it now. It's now 7.04 is my stop. we're still heading to 709. 709 is still there. Now it's on that 709. So 709, bunch of sellers at 709. So that little bit of a pullback is expected. I thought I was about to get step out here, but you know, if I get step out, then at least I get the move right here. I know this is a very it's a scalp trade, but again, I'm just doing 6,000 shares, and this is just when the market opened, and this is a low price stock. It's just a 7, but it's JetBlue. The float for this is 108 million. So even if it's a low float stocks, it is even if it's low price stock, it is not a low float stock, because the float here is 108 million. It's an airline company, and all the airline, JetBlue, United Airlines, even the CCL, travel sectors are all beaten down together with the rest of the stocks. So it is pretty much just moving together with the SPY. So here, consolidation there, did not get step out here, like right at the penny right there, almost got step out, and then still moving to my direction. Now my stop loss is all the way at 707. Still have lots of volume in the ask side. Now my unrealized is 520, 719, 711, and let's see here, 713, and yeah, 710, where the next destination is 713. And then while trailing my stop, we did get to see that reversal, but that's the good thing about having your stop or tight stop loss, because if you can see here, we did see a reversal, but even before that reversal, have that big reversal, I was all out at 708, 709, and at this big candlestick right here, or big bearish candlestick, I was already all out. So with that, I got 564. So at this point, I am still very bullish on this stock. So I'm waiting for another entry on this, but I would like it to touch the VWAP first. I was looking for other stocks that I can trade, and as you can see in the daily chart, it mirrors as well the one in SPY. So everything looks the same here as the SPY, and so JetBlue waiting for a pullback all the way here so I can re-enter. I unfortunately was not able to re-enter at 702 here, but that one is the 2 minutes chart. I want to see a pullback right here in the 5 minutes chart. So Mara, same thing as the SPY. Everything looks the same as the SPY chart. OCGN, consolidating EPRN, low float stock. I was just looking at the scanner, and then here, this had caught my attention. It's now at the VWAP, but I would like to ride this one on the momentum up. So this one is heading lower, but I will enter this one if it gives me a signal that we're heading back up. So for me to know that, I would look at level 2 as well as the tape. Are we showing some signs of reversal here, or are the buyers stepping in? So for here, we do see some shares here, volume at the ask about the same as here, so no imbalance yet. So at this point, no time for me to jump. Okay, so now what I'm seeing here is it touched that VWAP as well as the 9 EMA. but it's not showing any signs of that it's heading lower. So at this point, I have my shares ready and just want to get filled. I was actually using my other account as well, and I got filled with that with 10,000 shares, and now just waiting for this to retire. So with that 10,000 shares, my average cost is 704. So it had been respecting that VWAP as well as that moving average, as well as right here. It took a while for this stock to move on my predicted level. So at this point, we are now JetBlue, still consolidating. Now I'm looking at Rivian, but Rivian is consolidating as well. So I started a small position in Ford just because Ford is having the same chart. So now look at how it respected that VWAP as well as that 9 EMA, and it just bounced from there. I could have made a good profit out of this if I made a big shares, but this one is just 10,000 shares with $7 or 704 price. So as soon as it touches that VWAP as well as the 9 EMA, it never looked back. And when I say never looked back, just because it never went past through those 9 EMA as well as the VWAP. So SPY heading the same direction, moving other stocks with it. Now JetBlue is unrealized of 300, and now still higher highs, higher lows. Now my unrealized for JetBlue is 400. Little bit of a pullback there, still heading higher. 719. We're testing the high of the day, so that can be a good resistance right there. So when we get to do that resistance right there, because it's testing the high of the day, I took some partial there, and now I only have half of my position or half of my shares, so I am trailing this stock now. So my entry is 704, stop is 706. Now I'm trailing my stop to protect profit. F or Ford is same, 9 EMA as well as the VWAP bounce. I know it's not the perfect one, but it is a bull flag pattern where there is the heading up and a pullback, and the break of that pullback a bit early here, but because the previous candlestick was very bullish as well. So Ford, a very small position, $12 average cost or 12.19 shares of 1,500. JetBlue is consolidating. Now I'm looking at Mara. Mara has the same chart as the SPY. It did touch that 9 EMA as well as the VWAP. So I'm very interested on it. So I went long here at 12.50. The average cost that I have is 12.57 or 12.507. So 3 positions now. JetBlue was able to break that high of the day. So now still moving my stop loss, trailing my stop, take profit. Mara now has, let's see here, still in that consolidation, so $4.18. So my unrealized total now is 515, and just letting it run. Okay, so JetBlue, we are experiencing a little bit of a pullback here, a little bit of turbulence, and then Mara trailing my stop now above my break even to protect my profit. So now it's 502. Took some partial there, forward, moving my stop loss, protect profit, and then I got stopped out of forward, so I only got 95 there. And then for JetBlue, yeah, I still have my stop at 708. Still on that consolidation, looking right here, not a lot of imbalance. And this big candlestick or big volume right here, very bearish. So at this point, thought process is I might pretty much get stop out here, but that's totally fine. Again, I'm only doing small position just because I am also basing it from how I feel. And today that it's day 3 of COVID, I'm not feeling that great to do and risk big amount of shares. So very bearish here, 709. So that means it's red tape. They are hitting lower than the bid, and sure enough, I got stopped out there. So with that, I was able to get 1108. Get my pen here. So with that, I was able to get 1100, and I just did very small positions. So that's the thing about risk management as well. Part of the risk management is if you're not 100% feeling well, if you have COVID, the history of COVID, then pretty much it's either you shouldn't be trading, or if you are trading, then do a very small position, just like what I did. So I finished my trading day early at 10:46, so that was more than an hour and 15 of trading, and I will call it a day. Hopefully I'm feeling better tomorrow, but I hope you had a green trading day, and I'll see you at the next one.